Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Runescape Quick Lore. For this episode, we're going to get all empty for everyone's favourite nihilist, Zaros. As always, the ethos of Quick Lore is condensing RuneScape's vast history into smaller, more digestible chunks. With that in mind, I may gloss over some points or not dive as deep into stuff as you might like. By the end of the video though, I promise you'll have enough knowledge to blag your way through any conversation on Zaros. Let's get going. Zaros is considered to be the god of fate, control, and dark energy. If you ask anyone what he's about, they'll likely say that he's an unfeeling master manipulator. However, Zaros feels that those are just people's assumptions, and that people should judge him for his actions instead. Belief-wise, Zaros wants the world to belong to mortals, but at the same time doesn't trust them to be able to manage it properly without divine intervention. He views himself as a silent watcher, above the activities of mortals, but willing to take action whenever balance, air quotes, needs to be maintained. He doesn't believe in good and evil, seeing these as man-made constructs. Instead, he likes to judge people how he feels they should judge him, based solely on actions. This mirrors a real-life philosophy known as moral nihilism, the root word being nihil, which means nothing. He has made it well known in the past that he's disgusted by the Elder Gods and their Great Revision. This is explored in one of my first ever videos. If you want to watch it, click on the little eye. And wishes to attain elder godhood himself so that he can prevent this from happening again in the future. As mentioned last week in Seren's episode, Zaros was created by the elder god Ma. He grew restless and tired on Runescape and eventually left his mother to search the multiverse. His journey led him to many worlds. He took what he learned from these worlds and helped the mortals he encountered, which amassed him a large army of followers of varying races, most notably the demons of Infernus. He arrived on Gielinor near the beginning of the Second Age. If you're not aware, that was a time when the various gods were vying for power on Gielinor. Zaros, who viewed himself and Seren as the only true divine beings, decided that it was his duty to teach the other gods obedience, at any cost. Zaros started his conquest of Runescape from the city of Sentistan after ousting the god that lived there, Lonarb. I think that's how you say it. As the centuries went on, Zaros aggressively created a huge empire, unrivaled by any other, and he ruled his citizens passively. This hands-off management style led to problems, however. Zaros' empire worked on a caste system, demons at the top, humans at the bottom. As with almost every other civilization that uses a caste-based system, those at the bottom suffered. It wasn't unheard of for his human followers to be randomly eaten by the bourgeoisie pig demons. These crimes always went unpunished. Part of Zaros' aggressive empire building involved him waging war on the Menethite pantheon of the Caridian Desert. In response, two gods, Icthloran and Amaskut, recruited a race native to Zaros' home planet, the Majorat, to fight for them. The war waged on for a little bit, but eventually the Majorat turned on the Caridians, convinced by Sliske, and joined Zaros. In retaliation, Tumikin, the leader of the opposing army, sacrificed himself in a massive blast that incinerated combatants on both sides and turned the land into the mostly barren desert that it is now. The surviving Majorat were absorbed into Zaros' empire, and several, most importantly the mortal Zamorak, were given high-ranking positions. After controlling most of Gielinor, Zaros once again turned his eyes to other realms. He encountered a race of reptile-like creatures known as the Illuyanka? I believe that's how you say that word. Illuyanka. Yeah, sure, why not? They were a peaceful race, but also infertile, which Zaros took advantage of. He promised them a cure for their infertility, but only if they joined his army. They agreed to this and learned quickly the ways of war. They tamed dragons and over time became known as the Dragon Riders. Zaros' experiments into increasing the fertility rates involved him manipulating the essence of several species, such as the bird-like Aviantes, demons, vampires, and the Chienes. These creatures were dubbed Niles, so named because Zaros saw them as failures. Like Victor Frankenstein, Zaros rejected his creations, claiming that they meant nothing to him. The infertility issue was never solved, to the point that at one point only 5 dragon riders remained. While this was all going on, an undercurrent of dissent began to build within the Zarosian Empire, spearheaded by Zamorak. The citizens were upset with the poor living conditions and strict regime, so it didn't take much for Zamorak to convince them over to his side. Long story short, Zamorak stabbed his leader in the back. I discussed Zamorak's defeat of Zaros in his dedicated video, so I won't talk about it here, but check that out though if you're interested. Once Zaros was gone, the remaining forces on Gielinor began systematically slaughtering the followers still loyal to the Empty Lord. Some hid, some died, others integrated into the other gods' armies. By the end of the Zarosian Extinction, barely a trace of Zaros' influence remained. During the 6th Age, after Guthix's death, 2 Majorat that hid during the extinction made themselves known to the adventurer. These were Azanadra and Sliske, both of which were seemingly loyal to Zaros. The adventurer is tasked with creating a new body for Zaros, who still existed, but as an incorporeal wisp on Freneske. This plot happens during the quest, Fate of the Gods. Now, while making these videos, I found that it's sometimes difficult to talk about some of the more recent quests without spoiling them for people that haven't played them yet. It always happens when I get up to the 6th Age, and I never know whether to push through and just talk about them all willy-nilly, or to keep tight-lipped and let the quest fiends experience the glory themselves. Leave me a comment down below and let me know if you have any sort of a preference in regards to that. And with that in mind, that's basically all there is to know about Zaros. To recap, he's an empty, uncaring, hands-off kind of guy. Do you agree with him though? Are mortals incapable of ruling themselves, or should we be allowed to decide our own fates? Leave me a comment down below and let me know. If you made it this far, please give the video a like and subscribe for more videos like this one. I've been Vamoria, thank you for watching.